In this lesson, I want to teach you how to find the degree of a polynomial and how to arrange the terms of a polynomial in ascending or descending order. So, in order to be able to do this, what we first need to know is what is a polynomial. As you can see, I've defined that for you. A polynomial is the sum of one or more monomials. The prefix poly here means many, right here. We know binomial, like bicycle. Bicycle has two wheels. A binomial has two terms. It has two monomials. Tri, like a tricycle, has three wheels. A tricycle or a trinomial consists of three monomials. So, an example of a polynomial, actually a binomial and a trinomial, are both examples of a polynomial. As long as it's more than one, then it's considered a polynomial. So this is considered a binomial because you've got x plus 2. Remember, terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So I've got the term x and the term 2, meaning I've got 1, 2 terms. Therefore, it's a binomial. Here I've got a term, and here's a term. They're separated by the minus sign. Over here I have another term and another term, once again separated by a minus sign, so that all of these are examples of a binomial. Down here I've got a trinomial. It says the sum of monomials, and we know that we could just rewrite this as x squared plus 5x plus a negative 7. That's why it's considered a sum. And once again, it's separated by plus sign, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Here we're separated by a plus or a minus, so we've got 1, 2, 3, one term, two term, and then there's my third term. They're separated by pluses and minuses. So moving on to my next slide here. See if I can do this. There we go. We need to determine whether these are a polynomial, a trinomial, a binomial, a monomial, or none. So to do this, I would like for you to just pause it and see if you can do it on your own, and then turn it back on and check your answers. But the first one's a little bit tricky. We've got negative 9 plus 2. That can be simplified. So I have 5a minus 7. Because these are the same type of thing, go ahead and simplify as far as you can, then determine whether it is what kind of polynomial it is, or if it's a polynomial at all. So I know that this is a polynomial. I have no negative exponents. I don't have any letters in the denominator anywhere. And I don't have any exponents that are letters or variables. So it has to be a polynomial. This is one term. This is a second term. So it's a very specific polynomial. It is a binomial because it consists of two terms. Probably a lot of you put trinomial, and that is not correct, but that was a good thought because we said they were separated by plus or minus signs, and I didn't tell you that you had to simplify them first. Now looking at this one, we've got this negative exponent there. Therefore, it is none. In order for it to be a polynomial, there can be no negative exponents. Okay, looking at this one, I've got 3y squared, I've got a plus 6, and I've got a minus 7y. So it's looking like I've got three terms. Is there anything that I can combine? The answer is no. This has an exponent of 2. This has an exponent of 1. This doesn't even have a variable in it. It would have, if it did, it would have an exponent of 0. So I can't combine them. Therefore, I've got three terms, and it is a trinomial. Remember, prefix tri means three, like tricycle has three wheels. Let's see here. Move on to the next one. Arrange in descending order. Well, we know the word descending means to order from least to greatest or greatest to least. Let's think about this here. Descending order. That means that if we're descending the stairs, we start at the top and go down. So we start with the highest number and work our way down. So my term here with the highest exponent on this first one is the x squared. So I'm going to put x squared first, then the plus 2x, then plus 1. Notice I kept the sign that was in front of it with it. It was a positive 1. I kept it a positive 1. It was a positive x squared. Even though I didn't write plus, we know that's a positive x squared. This is a positive 2x, so I write a plus 2x in front of it. Here, what is my highest term? It is the 3. So I've got 5y cubed plus 3y squared plus y. The highest exponent is the 3, so it comes first because we're going in descending order. Once again, I'm just looking at the exponents. I'm not looking at the coefficients. The leading exponent in this one is the 3. So I've got negative 5y cubed. I have to keep that sign that's in front of it. Minus 18y squared plus y. Now we have arranged these in descending order. If I ask you to do it in ascending order, then you would do it the opposite. It'd be 1 plus the 2x plus x squared, or y plus 3y squared plus 5y cubed. But 9 times out of 10, you're always going to see them in descending order. That's just the most common way of writing them. Okay, so moving on. To find the degree of a monomial. In order to be able to find the degree, you have to know what that is. And the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of all of its variables. So you have to look at, in a monomial, we just have the one term, so we're just going to look at that one term. And we have to look at the sum of the exponents of its variables. Let's put that into English. Sum means we add them all together. Exponents are these little numbers, and of course the variables are just the letters. So we're adding all the little numbers of the letters. We're adding all of the exponents. I think we don't need to say little numbers. We know what exponents are. We're adding all the exponents of the letters. So on this one, the only letter that I have is x, and its exponent is 2. So this monomial has a degree of 2. This next one's a little bit tricky. I've got 5pq to the third. So a lot of people just want to put it has a degree of 3. But there's an understood 1 here on this p. Has a degree of 1. So if we add them together, that's the sum of the exponents of the letters. We add the 1 plus the 3 together, and we get a degree of 4. Okay, on this one, a lot of people want to say it has a degree of 1 because they know there's an understood exponent of 1 there. But it says the sum of the exponents of the variables. There is no variable here, so my degree would be 0. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can find the degree of each polynomial. This first one, the degree is going to be a squared. We're going to look at the a squared. The degree is actually just the 2. There is no degree here. It would be 0. And the degree of this term is 2. So we always go with the higher, and it is 2. Looking at this term, the degree is 2. Looking at this term, the degree is, don't forget that understood 1, so it's 3. The degree of this one, I've got 2 understood 1s. 1 plus 1 is 2. The highest of all of these is the 3. So it has a degree of 3. So if we're finding the degree of a monomial, we're just adding them all together. But when it's a polynomial, we find the greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. Let me say that again. It's the greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. So the greatest degree of this polynomial is the 2. The greatest degree of the terms of this polynomial is the 3. That's why this has a degree of 2. This one has a degree of 3. Okay, so go ahead and try these on your own. Find the degree of each polynomial. So you need to pause the video, write it down, and then hit play again whenever you're ready to check it. And I'll go ahead and reveal these answers. This one is 2. Obviously, this one's 2. This one's 3 because of that understood 1 there. 1 plus 2 is 3. And this one's 5 because 3 plus 2 is 5. This one only has a degree of 1. This has a degree of 3. So this term has the highest degree. Okay, and that is all I have. I promised you I'd keep it under 10 minutes. Remember, I need you to come prepared to class, ask me questions tomorrow. So your homework was to come up with homework for me.